All right, okay then. It's 12:35. Let's begin. Good afternoon, all of you. I hope you've had your lunch and you're not too sleepy. Are you all sleepy? No, right? Okay, because if you're sleepy, then I have to wake you all up with a lot of interest. All right, okay. Please turn to page. Okay, before you do turn your page to. Someone has it in Kannada. Who is this person, please? Who just joined? Okay, so generally, when we have stories, right, we all like to listen to stories, and it's interesting. And provided there is some intention or a moral that is, communicated in the story. Do all of us like to look for what that story actually wants to convey to the other person? When you read something, would you like to know what exactly they want you to understand from this whole story? Yes, when you look or read at a story or listen to a story, isn't this something that you look for?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
So
Yes.
similarly, now Bonku Babu's friend again has something to convey to all of us. Okay, so don't open the page, just listen to me for the time being, and then when I ask you to open, you can, open and then we'll read together. Now, you have different genres of stories, right? One can be a thriller, like just as another can be a horror, or it could be a fiction, or it could be a science fiction. You know what a fiction is?
Yes, ma'am.
What's a fiction?
Imaginative stories.
Right. So which
Imaginary
means they are not real. And when I say science fiction, how does it differ from being a fiction?
Ma'am, it involves new
Science
technologies.
fiction usually uses the facts of science, but how is viewed into an imaginary stories.
Certainly. Okay, I'll take that. Now, and there will be a lot of characters, right? As we read a story, there will be several characters we will come across, right? And we will also pass slowly based on how they respond to situations. We will pass judgments as to what kind of people and what their needs. Yes or no? We do, right? We try to imagine what kind of a person this is based on their response to situations and how they probably uh, imagine a certain situation or imagine an action or how they would like to react. Okay. Likewise, so here too we have few characters, and I'm sure you have already identified one of the characters. In fact, two. What are the two characters that you've already identified in the story that I've told you?
Bonku Babu.
Bonku Babu and
His friend.
certainly. So we need to find out now who this Bonku Babu is and who is this friend that we are talking about. So Bonku Babu was written by someone called Satyajit Ray. Have any of you heard about Satyajit Ray?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Not definitely not someone from Gen
Yes,
Z
ma'am.
or okay. What do you know of him? Shivamya.
Mom, he was a Bengali poet.
He was a Bengali poet, basically a Bengali writer. Okay, Yadailik.
Ma'am is a Bengali filmmaker and
Yes.
also he's a film critic and also sometimes the music director.
Right. He was also a story writer, not just a poet, but also story writer. Okay. Fan, you had also raised your hand.
Yes, ma'am, wanted to say the same point.
All right. Okay, done. Sorted. Yes, the others, Sunil and Subecha. Akshita. Okay.
Ma'am, he also wrote many plays and he was very famous for mainly his detective books.
Correct.
Uh,
Okay.
that is about Feluda. It is a series about Feluda.
There's also one person called Byomkesh Bakshi. You know that? A
Yes,
lot
ma'am.
more on the lines of detective. Okay. Kaushiki, do you have anything to add? Oh, sorry. To admit, sorry, my bad. Okay. Anybody has any other inputs? No? Okay, so Bonku Babu's Friend is one of his famous works, all right? Let's see what he has to actually say. And as we read, see, since we are online, I would would you prefer that I read it so it's easier for everyone to follow and to be on the same pace rather than making each of you read? Do you think that's better?
Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes.
right. Okay, fine.
Yes.
I will do that. All of you turn to
Could you
page
please tell me the
70.
page?
I'm just telling you, page number 70, Bonku Babu's Friend in your treasure chest textbook. Are all of you on the same page? 70,
Yes,
my
ma'am.
friend. Okay. So all of you have turned to page 70 in your treasure chest textbook. As we read, just use your pencil. I repeat, there will be no pen marks in your textbooks, and I'm very clear about it. Have a pencil with you, sharpened pencil. Just underline words that you think you are not sure of. We will discuss them. Maybe as we read, sometimes we get to understand the meanings, so we don't really have to get to discuss it, but we can always discuss eventually. So I'll keep reading, and as we read, after reading a certain amount, we will pass probably judgments on what this person is and who it is, and more information about the characters that we come across. Also, jot down the characters that we come across as we read the story. All right? Clear with what you have to be doing? Am I audible? Very clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay, right. Mics off, all your mics off. Just listen to me and keep reading as I read it out. So, Bonku Babu's friend, Satyajit Ray. No one had ever seen Bonku Babu get cross. To tell the truth, it was difficult to imagine what he might say or do if one day he did get angry. So, what we are doing here is we have already figured out what kind of a person is. He's a person who gets angry easily.
No, ma'am.
No one had ever seen Bonku Babu get cross, which means a little
Furious.
furious or angry or annoyed by something. Okay, so it was difficult to imagine what he might say or do if one day he did get angry. It was not as if there was never any reason for him to lose his temper. For the last 22 years, Bonku Babu had taught geography and Bengali at the Kankurgachi village primary school. Every year, a new batch of students replaced the old one, but old or new, the tradition of teasing poor Bonku Babu continued among all the students. Some drew his cartoon on the blackboard, others put glue on his chair, or on the night of Kali Puja, they lit a chasing rocket and set it off right behind him. Very naughty kids, huh? Bonku Babu did not get upset by any of this. Only sometimes he cleared his throat and said, "Shame on you boys." Have you heard teachers do that? Clear their throat and say, "Isn't that a sign of saying I am aware of what is happening?"
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. One of the reasons for maintaining his calm was simply that he could not afford to do otherwise. If he did lose his temper and left his job in a fit of pique, he knew how difficult it would then be to find another at his age. Another reason was that in every class, there were always a few good students, even if the rest of the class was full of pranksters. Teaching this handful of good boys was so rewarding that to Bonku Babu, that alone made life as a teacher worth living. At times, he invited those boys to his house, offered them snacks, and told them tales of foreign lands and exciting adventures. He told them about life in Africa, the discovery of the North Pole, the fish in Brazil that ate human flesh, and about Atlantis, the continent submerged under the sea. He was a good storyteller. He always has his audience enthralled. Just a minute, someone's joining. Yes, Daivik.
Ma'am, what is peak?
What is?
Peak.
Peak. In a fit of pique is like it can be anger or resentment or irritation.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So this is typically what happens in our class, no? All of you keep pranking the teachers or, making fun of them, calling them names. I'm sure all of this happens in our school. Yes or no? Huh? Yes, Afan.
May I just know the meaning of enthralled?
Enthralled is. Does someone know the meaning of enthralled? To be fascinated, okay? So let's say, Afan, I am telling you stories and it's so interesting that you're so captivated, you feel like continuing to listen to me. So that's how enthralled. So that's the feeling of being enthralled. Okay, Afan?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I'll continue. No doubts, no so far? Do you all know which is the fish in Brazil that ate human flesh?
Piranhas.
Perfect. All right, we'll continue. During the weekend, Bunku Babu went to the lawyer, Shripati Majumdar's house, to spend the evenings with other regulars. On a number of occasions, he had come back thinking, enough, one second, enough, never again. The reason was simply that he could put up with the pranks played by the boys in his school, but when grown-ups, even middle-aged men started playing the fool with him, it became too much to bear. At these addas that Shripati Babu hosted in the evenings, nearly everyone poked fun at Bunku Babu, sometimes bringing his endurance almost to breaking point. Only the other day, that is less than 2 months ago, they were talking about ghosts. Usually, Bunku Babu kept his mouth shut. That day, for some unknown reason, he opened it and declared that he was not afraid of ghosts. That was all. But it was not enough, but it was enough to offer a golden opportunity to the others. On his way back home later that night, Bunku Babu was attacked by a spook. As he was passing under a tamarind tree, a tall, thin figure leapt down and landed on his back. As it happened, this apparition had smeared black ink all over itself, possibly at the suggestion of someone at the meeting. Bunku Babu was not frightened, but he was injured. For 3 days, his neck ached. Worst of all, his new kurta was torn and it had black stains all over. What kind of a joke was this? Yes, Nesra? Nesra?
What is the meaning of spook?
What is spook, all of you?
Something
Ma'am,
scary.
Something
Scary.
Scary. Yeah, when we say it's very dark, no, Nesra, we get a very eerie feeling, and it is spooky, meaning gives the feel of a presence of a ghost. Yes,
So it is the
Sanjay.
same meaning as spooky, ma'am.
Sorry.
Ma'am, it is the same meaning as spooky, right?
Yeah, spook is a noun, whereas spooky is another figure of speech, which is adjective.
Okay, fine.
All right. Yes, Satvik.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of apparition?
Apparition, can you connect it to one word that you're already familiar with APP?
No,
Appear.
Is it appearance?
Same thing. Appearance is more of. Can you mute? Can you mute? Because it's can you all just mute? I will explain. Appearance is more. It can be when you're looking at a person and you're describing how that person looked. That is also appearance. But apparition is to appear at a certain place.
Okay.
Satvik, that is a slight difference. Okay. Daivik, do you have a question?
And what is addas?
What is?
Addas.
Okay, an adda is basically a word from Hindi, which is, so all those of you who know adda in Hindi, what does it mean? Like your den, your area. Am I
An
right?
area where friends gather.
Sorry?
An area where friends gather.
An area where friends gather. Right. Afan, do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. What does endurance mean? Like, is it like related?
What is endurance?
Like,
Afan, do you do sport?
ma'am?
Do you play a sport?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
What
your voice
sport?
is echoing.
It's echoing because of Afan.
Ma'am,
Afan, unmute. Sorry, mute. Yeah, now can you all hear? It's not echoing now, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it still echoing?
Ma'am, can you repeat what you said now? I couldn't listen because your voice was echoing.
Not a problem. Not a problem. The question was, Afan, the question was Adda, right? Sorry, what was the question? Endurance. Okay. Endurance is all of you, some of you, okay? You are not be playing a sport. Okay? And are you having, and they check something called an endurance. People who play sport generally have good endurance, which means are they able to withstand a certain struggle or withstand a certain activity?
Ma'am, can it also be told as tolerance?
Sort of, but endurance is in terms of stamina, or it is also tolerance, but tolerance is more to do with the mind. And yeah, sort of.
Okay,
Sort
ma'am.
of, Adit. So we can also use it as a verb and say he is enduring a lot of pain and suffering to be going through, if I can put it in very simple terms. Is that clear to all of you?
Ma'am, no, that's not the doubt. My doubt
Yes,
is
ma'am.
is
Yes,
endurance
ma'am.
here related with sanity?
Hello?
Ma'am, is endurance here related with sanity?
Here, yes, but generally. Because here it is talking about are we able to endure that the whatever the mockery that they are putting out at him. Afan,
Yes, ma'am.
sounds good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right. So we were on. Okay. Even so, Bunku Babu had to come to these meetings. If he didn't, what would Sripati Babu think? Not only was he a very important man in the school committee and in the village, but he couldn't do without Bunku Babu, who could provide amusement to all. On one particular day, the topic of conversation was space. In other words, they were talking of spaceships and space travel. Soon after sunset, a moving point of light had been seen in the northern sky. A similar light was seen 3 months ago, which had led to much speculation. In the end, it had turned out to be a Russian satellite called Kutka, or was it Foska? Anyway, this satellite was supposed to be going around the Earth at a height of 400 miles and providing a lot of valuable information to the scientists. That particular evening, Bunku Babu was the first to spot the strange light. Then he called Nidu Babu and showed it to him. However, when he arrived at the meeting, he found that Nidu Babu had coolly claimed full credit for being the first person to see it and was boasting a great deal about it. Bunku Babu said nothing. No one in the group knew much about satellites, but that did not stop them from offering their views. Said Chandi Babu, somebody sees a point of light in some obscure corner of the sky and the press gets all excited about it. All humbug. Have you all got this? Any doubts here?
And what is humbug?
Humbug is another word to say nonsense. All rubbish. Okay?
Ma'am, what is obscure?
Obscure is darkness. So in this case, they mean some far away corner of the sky, somewhere, it's a little, just in this case, it's a little used like a hyperbole, meaning a little far away place and exaggerated.
Ma'am,
Yes, dear.
ma'am, can obscure mean not clear?
Yes, but here when we are saying somebody sees a point of light in some obscure corner of the sky. So when you're able to view it, it just means it's just in a very far away or in an obscure dark, not clear. It can take different interpretations.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah? Okay. And the press gets all excited about it. So let's imagine that I'm seeing some UFO flying, okay? And someone says, look, there's something flying there. Can you see it? Where? So someone has spotted it, but somewhere away. So it's not necessarily that it is not clear, but it is just that it is just somewhere at a distance in this case. Okay, but obscurity generally is darkness. Am I clear about what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Or a little more of, I'm not sure if this is what I'm seeing. In that sense also we can take it. Do you all get it? Okay.
Please repeat, what is humbug?
Humbug is just when I'm saying all humbug, meaning all rubbish. Don't believe all of that.
Okay.
Okay? Right? Okay. Not basically not true, false, that kind of a thing. Let's say someone tells you, guess what? I spotted a meteor yesterday, and they'll be like, what nonsense? How is that even possible? Okay, you get it? So Ram Kanai countered this remark. He was still young. Yes. Okay. Ram Kanai countered this remark. He was still young. No, it may not be any of us here, but it is a human achievement, surely, and a great achievement at that. Well, you wouldn't expect a bunch of monkeys to do that, would you? All right, said Neetu Babu. Let's not talk of satellites. After all, it's just a machine going around the earth, they say. No different from a spinning top. A top would start spinning if you got it going, or a fan would start to rotate if you pressed a switch. A satellite's the same. But think of a rocket. That can't be dismissed so easily, can it? Chanti Babu wrinkled his nose. A rocket? Why? What good is a rocket? All right. If one was made here in our country, took off from the Maidan in Calcutta, and we could all go and buy tickets to watch the show, well then, that would be nice. But you're right, Ram Kanai agreed. A rocket has no meaning for us here in this village. Bhairav Chakravarti spoke next. Suppose some creature from a different planet arrived on Earth. So what? Even if it did, you and I would never be able to see it. Yes, that's true enough. Everyone turned their attention to their cups of tea. There did not seem to be anything left to be said. After a few moments of silence, Bonku Babu cleared his throat and gently said, Suppose they came here. Neetu Babu feigned total amazement. Hey, Bunkum wants to say something. What did you say, Bunkum? Who's going to come here? Where from? Bonku Babu repeated his words, his tone still gentle. Suppose someone from a different planet came here. As he did so often, do you know what feigned is, all of you? We just read Neetu Babu feigned total amazement.
Does it mean express?
He's expressing, but what is he expressing? Basically pretending. He's just being a little bit, okay? He's just faking total amazement. He's just pretending to be totally amazed. Because Bonku Babu says, suppose they came here. Isn't that just showing a little bit of his innocence, Bonku Babu? And this other person just mocking him by saying, yes, Satvik?
Ma'am, what does fiend in total amazement mean?
Darling, I just asked you that question. Feigned, what is feigned? I just told you, to be pretending, to be amazed. To be pretending to be amazed by the question that Bonku Babu just asked. And that's why he's mocking him by calling him names like Bunkum and all. Okay? Right. As he did so often, Bhairav Chakravarti slapped Bonku Babu's back loudly and rudely, grinned and said, Bravo, what a thing to say. Where is a creature from another planet going to land? Not Moscow, not London, not New York, not even Calcutta, but here in Kankurgachi. You do think big bunkum, don't you? So all of this is a sign of what? Mockery, right? So, Bonku Babu fell silent, but several questions rose in his mind. Was it really possible? Was it really impossible? If an alien had to visit the Earth, would it really matter where it arrived first? It might not aim to go straight to any other part of the world. All right, it was highly unlikely that such a thing would happen in Kankurgachi village, but who was to say for sure that it could not happen at all? Shripati Babu was silent so far. Now, as he shifted in his seat, everyone looked at him. He put his cap down and spoke knowledgeably. Look, if someone from a different planet does come to Earth, I can assure you that he will not come to this God-forsaken place. Those aliens are no fools. It is my belief that they are sahibs and they will land in some Western country where all the sahibs live. Understand? So who is Shripati Babu here?
The lawyer of
The lawyer from
Okay, and what happens there? What happens in Sahib Babu's house every day?
Some regular meeting, regular work
No,
happens.
the friends.
Meeting.
Correct. Generally, people get together there every evening. Okay, please unmute yourself. I mean, sorry, mute yourself so that there is no echo from my end once you're done. Yes, Adit, you have a question.
Ma'am, what is a sahib?
Okay, Sahib is, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you know this word. Would have definitely come across in Hindi. What is Sahib?
Ma'am, like an owner or a boss.
A higher level of respect.
Correct. Correct. It's just a respectful prefix that is given.
Ma'am, so it's kind of like a noble.
Not a noble, but okay, kind of. Noble is more a title. This is more a respectful form of calling.
Ma'am, so is it sir?
Sort of like so. Okay, so it's just a polite, it's more of, it's not something we write. Not like a doctor that we write, but it's just a very respectful form of address. Okay,
Okay, ma'am,
Adit?
thanks, ma'am.
So like a noble, yeah, sort of like so, yeah, sort of. Okay, a more local or a usage. Afan?
Ma'am, Sahib is actually given a name given to the British officers.
It was, but now I'm talking now, what is it?
Ma'am, but now it's, ma'am, the timeline is given as 1922, so.
Okay, dear, but he still continued to say. He said, yes, dear.
Now it's pretty much used for anyone who want to respect. Like
Yeah, that's all. So Afan, so now sometimes if I'm talking, I can say, my Professor Saab. The Sahib has become Saab. So Afan, it's still used, it's just that it's probably used in a very different sense. And words and their usages also keep evolving with time. Okay, now if you actually go back, there is this one word. We say a very homely person, a homely girl. When I say homely, what do you think about it?
like someone who likes
Someone?
Ma'am, I think it's like someone who is like attached. I mean, like likes their home a lot or something, or they feel comfortable.
Ma'am, someplace comforting?
That is what we think it is, but actually it was more of the opposite. But look at how it has been construed today. Okay, so words also evolve with time, and their usages, their meanings also keep changing with time. Okay, right? We'll get back to where we were. Okay, everyone agreed with the sole exception of Bunku Babu. Nandi Babu decided to take things a bit further. He nudged Nidhu Babu silently, pointed to Bunku Babu and spoke innocently. Why? I think Bunku is quite right. Isn't it natural that aliens should want to come to a place where there's a man like our Bunku Bihari? If they wanted to take away a human specimen, could they find anything better? No, I don't think so, Nidhu Babu joined in. Consider his looks, not to mention his brains. Yes, Bunkum would be the ideal specimen. Right, suitable for keeping in a museum or a zoo, Ramkanai chipped in. Bunku Babu did not reply, but wondered silently. If anyone were to actually look for a specimen, weren't the others just as suitable? Look at Shripati Babu. His chin was so much like a camel's, and that Bhairav Chakravarti, his eyes were like the eyes of a tortoise. Nidhu Babu looked like a rat, Ramkanai like a goat, and Chandi Babu like a flitter mouse. If a zoo really had to be filled up. And all of this, he's thinking aloud. I mean, he's not thinking aloud, he's just wondering silently, right? Tears sprang to his eyes. Bunku Babu had come to the meeting hoping for once to enjoy himself. That was clearly not to be. He could not stay here any longer. He got to his feet. Take care, Bunkuda, warned Ramkanai. It's a moonless night, remember, and it's a Saturday. Very auspicious for ghosts and spooks. Everyone howled with delighted laughter. You know how people would laugh, no, when they are mocking? They'd be like, ha, 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 that kind of a thing. All right? So, Bunku Babu was not carrying a torch or a lantern. There was no need for it. It was too cold for snakes to be out and about, and he knew his way very well. Normally, not many people took this route, but it meant a shortcut for him. In the last few minutes, he had become aware of something unusual. At first, he could not put his finger to it, meaning he could not identify what that unusuality was. Somehow, things were different tonight. What was wrong? What was missing? Yes? Yes, Shiva?
Mom, what's a flittermouse?
A flittermouse is just another character, but I think you will have to. It's like a bat. Basically, it's more of a not a very pleasant way of calling a bat in this sense. Meaning,
Okay.
what an idiot sort of thing.
Okay, Mom. So,
Alright?
Mom, Kubabu was mocking them too in his mind.
In his mind, that's why he was wondering silently, whereas the others were in a scene of mockery all aloud.
Mom, flittermouse was called as bat in the olden terms.
Okay, that's it. So it's just not a very it's actually not a real. It's not the bat that we see today. It's a little different in terms of the nose and all of that. If I'm not wrong.
Okay, Mom. Thank you.
So it's not just like a bat, but I think it's a little different from. It could be. Let me just see if I'm right, or David, you're the one who said no bat.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If it is anything different, then you keep mine. Otherwise, and anyway, I'll get back to you on what that is really. If it was used for other words, other creatures. Okay. So in the
What
last.
is howled?
Sorry.
What is howled?
To howl. What is to howl? It's that sound that some animals make. No? Meaning to be very loud about something.
Okay.
Okay. It's like a very long, like a wolf, no? It's very long. Have you heard the noise of a wolf?
Yes, Mom.
Yeah,
Even dogs.
It's very long. Yeah, dogs too. That's also there. Okay, so which is why I actually did maybe my acting wasn't that good. Okay, right. Okay, what was missing? Suddenly he realized what it was. The crickets were silent. Not one was chirping. Today there was only an eerie silence. What had happened to all the crickets? Were they all asleep? Puzzled, Bunku Babu walked another 20 yards and then he suddenly saw the light. At first he thought that a fire had broken out. Bang in the middle of Ponchagosh's bamboo grove in the clearing near a small pond, quite a large area was glowing pink. A dull light shone on every branch and every leaf. Down below, the ground behind the pond was lit by a much stronger pink light. But it was not a fire, for it was still. Bunku Babu kept moving. Now, so far, all's good. Are you all in tune with what's happening? You know what's happening, right? I'm not going too fast, am I? Am I going too fast?
No, Mom.
No. Okay. Can we continue reading?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, what is eerie silence?
An eerie silence. Some time ago, I just spoke about it when I spoke about spook, right? Eerie is being scary. A very strange. It's like a scary silence. It's a frightening silence. When it's very quiet and you have to walk alone in the night. Just imagine this. Who asked me this question?
Miss me, Yana.
Yeah. Yana, so let's imagine you have a street and you have to walk all alone at night, at probably at around 11 p.m. And there's just trees there, and you can barely hear sounds there. So it's a little frightening, isn't it? At that time, at that spot.
Yes.
So it's it's that silence which is very scary. Sometimes even silence can be scary. That's why some people like these white noises. When they're sleeping, they cannot sleep in complete silence because they need to hear at least the noise of the clock ticking or the fan. You understand that? They said it's a very strange noise. Okay? So eerie silence is very strange, a scary silence. I'll continue. All at once, his ears began ringing. He felt as if someone was humming loudly, long, steady noise. There was no way he could stop it. Bonku Babu broke out into goose pimples, but an irrepressible curiosity drove him further forward. As he went past a cluster of bamboo stems, an object came into view. It looked like a giant glass turned upside down, covering the pond completely. It was through its translucent shade that a strong yet gentle pink light was shining out to turn the whole area radiant. Yes, Adit?
What is irrepressible?
Okay, irrepressible is more of the opposite of to be able to contain. It's something that you cannot contain within yourself. So when it's curious, now like, ma'am, what is this? What is that? What is this? Amma, what is this? What is that? What does it mean? So you're unable to restrain that curiosity, which means you're not able to control that curiosity anymore. It has to be acted upon. So let's say, for instance, there is going to be someone says, Adit, if you lose your tooth, as young children, right? If you lose your tooth, then put it under your pillow and go to sleep. The Easter bunnies will come and then they will take your tooth and then leave you a gift behind. So you're like, what is this? But you get curious about it. Really, is there something like this? Will something like this really happen? Okay, let me try. Let me attempt doing this. So it's a curiosity that has no bounds. It's just so limitless. It's more than limitless. It's like saying you're not able to handle that curiosity. Okay, Adit?
Okay, ma'am. Thanks.
Yes. So therefore he had to move further. So this kind of a curiosity drove him further forward. As he went past a cluster of bamboo stems, an object came into view. It looked like a giant glass bowl turned upside down, covering the pond completely. It was through its translucent shade that a strong yet gentle pink light was shining up on the whole area radiant. He took a few steps to get a better look, but suddenly felt as if an electric current had passed through his body. In the next instant, he was rendered completely immobile. His hands and feet were tied with an invisible rope. There was no strength left in his body. He could neither move forward nor backward. A few moments later, Bonku Babu, still fixed stiffly at the same spot, saw that the object had gradually stopped breathing. All at once, his ears ceased ringing and the humming stopped. A second later, a voice spoke, shattering the silence of the night. It sounded human, but was extraordinarily thin. Millipede ping crook, it said loudly. Bonku Babu jumped a little. What did it mean? What language was this? And where was the speaker? The next words the voice spoke made his heart jump again. Yes, dear.
Mom, what's the meaning of rendered and immobile?
Rendered is to make something possible.
Okay.
And what is the other word that you asked me?
Immobile.
What is mobile?
It's a device.
No, Tanushri, it's a phone which is a device.
Yeah.
Mobile is an adjective. What does mobile mean? Something
To
you
be
can
able
carry.
to move.
Exactly, something that you can carry around and you can move. So when it's immobile, it means it's stationary in a place.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, just a minute. We are on which page? 76, right? Okay. The next words the voice spoke made his heart jump again. Who are you? Who are you? Why? These were English words. Was the question? Excuse me, just a minute. Was the question addressed to him? Bunku Babu swallowed. I am Bunku Bihari Datta, sir. Bunku Bihari Datta, he replied. Are you English? Are you English? The voice went on. No, sir. Bunku Babu shouted back. Bengali, sir. A Bengali, sir. You see, there are two questions, the same question being repeated. Therefore, his response is also twice. Isn't that a very instant reaction response when I'm asking you the same question twice? You see how he's responding? Because he's a little startled by what is happening and what he's seeing and hearing. This was followed by a short pause. A short pause. Then the voice came back speaking clearly. Namaskar. Bunku Babu heaved a sigh of relief and returned the greeting. Namaskar, he said, suddenly realizing that the invisible bonds that were holding him tightly had disappeared. He was free to run away, but he did not. Now, his astounded eyes could see that a portion of the glass mound was sliding to one side, opening out like a door. Through that door emerged a head, like a plain, smooth ball, and then the body of a weird creature. Its arms and legs were amazingly thin, with the exception of its head. Its whole body was covered by a shiny pink outfit. Instead of ears, it had tiny holes on each side of its head. On the face were two holes, where there should have been a nose and another gaping hole instead of a mouth. There was no sign of hair anywhere. Its eyes were round and bright yellow. They appeared to be glowing in the dark. Are you all imagining this weird, bizarre character that they have?
Yes, ma'am. It looks so weird.
Okay, right. Does it look interesting to anyone here? No. Shresht. Oh, Shresht, wow, he's just joining when we are ending class. Hello, Shresht. Shresht, you decided to join class when we were finishing?
Ma'am, Shresht isn't in our class.
No, Shresht is in E section.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. He's in E. Shresht, you decided to finally join class just when you were going to end it, huh? Okay, ma'am, what did I do, ma'am? Okay, right. The creature walked slowly towards Bunku Babu and stopped only a few feet away. Then it gave him a steady, unblinking stare. Automatically, Bunku Babu found himself folding his hands. Having stared at him for nearly a minute, it spoke in the same voice that sounded more like a flute than anything else. How would that be? Are you human? Yes. Is this Earth? Yes. Ah, I thought as much. My instruments are not working properly. I was supposed to go to Pluto. I wasn't sure where I had landed, so I spoke to you first in the language they use on Pluto. When you didn't reply, I could tell I had landed on Earth. Complete waste of time and effort. It happened once before. Instead of going to Mars, I veered off and went to Jupiter. Delayed me by a whole day, it did. All right. Can we stop here? Yeah? Yes, Sakshi.
Ma'am, I have one doubt on page number, which one it is? Page number 73, here in that one. Here, look, if someone from different planet does not come to Earth, I assure you that he will not come for his God-forsaken place.
Yeah.
So, why did the Shripati Babu exaggerated by saying God-forsaken place?
You tell me.
According to me, ma'am, I think he's exaggerating it to to clearly state that someone will not come from in this village or this place.
Exactly. I mean, see, when an alien or a spaceship is to come and land on Earth, where would you think they will come and land? Just imagine it. I mean, you'd say probably in a larger space, a city, or a dwelling that is probably conducive to people who might be aware of characters like this, right? Not in a village, a little village. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And when they use things like God-forsaken, it's generally used for people who, I mean, for things, or when I'm saying a place, a God-forsaken place, like a place that has nothing to offer.
Ma'am, in a sarcastic manner.
Sorry?
Ma'am, in a sarcastic manner.
Certainly sarcastic. Certainly. Okay?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Shall we wind up for the day?
Actually, I have another doubt, ma'am.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Here, ma'am, they told that in my belief they are sahibs. Is this so? What is sahibs referred to? Britishers or something? Because I feel like the story background was set in like 1940s here.
Not necessarily. Even today, people use Sahib. That's what I was telling you. It's my Professor Sahib, which is like just a respectful form, or more. It can be. I can just call it as Sahib, whatever, or Professor Sahib. Then it becomes more like a suffix, a title that is used for to denote respect. Like how you would say G here, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Like that. A little similar, but this is more of a title. That's all.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
All right? Okay.
What is astounded?
Astounded is to be surprised.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Shall we wind up?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right. Okay. Have a nice day, all of you. See you all in the next class.
Thank you, ma'am.